What's up, basket case?
What's up, dum dum?
Oh, sitting here.
I've been fighting all day long, losing power, ceiling leaking, and crawl space flooding.
I don't have any of that, but I did have to leave the house today, and it was very wet and miserable and cold and shitty.
The worst part is I have the sump pump that's in my basement for if it floods in the basement or in the crawl space. But the problem is if the power goes out, then the sump pump can't work.
Oh, yeah.
So then I got to sit with a bucket and a hose and pump it out by hand.
Jeez.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. What was I going to say? I forgot already. Oh, I was wishing you were here earlier so we could throw all the tree branches that fell off my tree out over the fence because I don't want to fucking deal with it.
Just throwing them over the fence. Let somebody else deal with them.
I don't feel like breaking them down. I'm not going to get out a fucking saw so I can fucking saw these branches. I just throw them over the fence and they'll think they fell on that side.
I think you have a limb cutter in your garage.
Well, you mean that snippy thing? The like electric snippy thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I have to run a extension from my house because I don't have power in my garage. It's the whole
jeez.
Therefore, throw them over the fence.
That is an easier option, I guess.
I know. I'm waiting for one timey to throw them though, and then they just throw them back, and then I'll be like, wait, but then I can't throw them back again because I already knew about them. But
well, you think that when the people whose fence you're throwing them over, you think that when they would like one morning they'd just show up and be like, where did all these fucking branches come from?
Well, the tree is half on their side, so when they fall on their side, they just take care of them. But I feel like they just always fall on fucking my side. But they have like a gardener. They have like a landscape person. So I feel like if they just lay over there, then the person will come and take them apart.
If they have a landscape person, then they should have someone taking care of that part of the lawn that butts up against yours in the front.
No.
That part that runs along by your driveway?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the location of my house, but those are two different places.
Well, somebody should be taking care of it aside from me.
You don't have to. I'm going to throw them over myself.
I'm talking about the lawn, the branches, the trees, everything.
I know. I'm going to get the person back in the spring. He already texted me.
But I'm not just talking about what you think is yours. I'm saying that some of what I was mowing and what you've been taking care of, I don't think is yours.
I don't think it's mine either. What are we going to do about it?
I don't know. We got to go to Oakland County Court sometime soon.
Okay.
Pull a land plat while we're there or something.
I'm not going to know.
Someone will know. Stop being so pissy and moany.
You're pissy.
I'm coming in hot. And you're the only one that can help me with this because I took some people's advice and I started watching a television show and now I have questions.
What is it? Midnight Mass?
What?
Midnight Mass?
No, I watched the first season of Dexter.
Oh, yay.
And everybody was telling me to watch Dexter. And here's my question after watching I just finished the whole first season. Here's my question. Ready? Drum roll me. Does it get any better than that? Because I hope it does, because that was fucking terrible.
Oh, God, you probably weren't even fucking paying attention.
I watched every fucking episode of the first season, and I was like, who is writing this garbage? Because every single thing is easily figured out. The first time I saw the main killer, I was like, oh, so he's somehow related to Dexter? And the first time I saw the numbers, I was like, oh, so is that when he was born? Or is like every single thing that happened in the first season, I was like, this is the most trite bullshit I've ever seen in my entire life. And on top of it, I don't like Dexter. He kills people.
Yeah, he kills bad people.
He's a fucking murderer. It doesn't matter.
He's taking care of people that need to be taken care of.
By his own judgment. That's not how society works.
Read the synopsis of the fucking show before you watched it. That's the whole point. He's a vigilante.
Yeah, vigilantism is wrong. You're not supposed to just kill people because you think they need to go.
Okay, I have several thoughts and several answers. First of all, you have the worst opinions ever. Second of all, it's not going to get any better from here. If you are fucking upset with him killing people, you better stop now.
I'm not upset with him killing people. I don't know why people like him or think he's an anti-hero. He's just a fucking murderer. He's just a psychopath. I don't like the fact that the show is written so poorly.
They're laying the groundwork, first of all. Second of all, there's a different killer in almost every season.
Is it going to be easily as figure-outable as it was in the first season?
To be honest with you, I watched the first season when it aired, so I can't fucking even remember, but I feel like most people think the first at least 4 or 5 seasons of Dexter are a masterpiece, so I feel like just in my heart that you're wrong.
Well, I'm not wrong. It's bad.
Oh, God. Okay, well, you should just go back to watching Love Boat and Columbo and just stay in that zone and just watch the same 2 shows or 3 shows for the rest of your life and not watch anything else.
If I'm going to watch poorly written shows and enjoy them, I'll watch poorly written shows and enjoy them, but I'm not going to watch shows that people tell me are genius and great and then go, oh, this is a poorly written show.
This is going to be the most, crazily reacted to bad opinion of yours that's ever happened. Twitter is going to be in flames when this comes out because everybody loves Dexter.
I am going to be the person who breaks the floodgates where people say, yeah, I really didn't like it that much. I just went along with everybody else because they said they liked it.
No.
It's not good. I kept waiting for it to become this great show that everybody told me it was. And I was like, okay, I'm on episode 10 now. How many are in this first season? And it's 12. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is a maybe solid 2-hour thriller movie, but this is not a 12 episode, 10 season fucking show.
I feel like and again, I can't remember that good, but I feel like maybe the second and third and fourth seasons get better because certain stuff happens and it makes him different. But if you already don't like it, I don't think that bodes well for you, and you should fucking probably not waste your time.
All right. That's what I was looking for.
Try though.
I gave it a shot.
You should probably try The Sopranos, and if you don't like that, you should just literally throw your television in the fucking garbage.
I don't understand. I really don't. It's baffling to my mind, and I try and understand why people like things that I don't like and why I don't like. I try to understand other people's perceptions and how they understand things, but I was watching this and I was like, this is a terribly long, poorly written episode of Law and Order.
I hate it. I hate everything about this conversation. I do. Why would they be bringing the show back if nobody fucking liked it?
Because they bring fucking anything back. Why did they make a terrible Full House reboot?
For its time, Full House was very enjoyable.
Right, for children and for people who enjoy family comedies.
That's all there was.
Yeah, that's all there was. And so people were satisfied with it. There's no reason to bring it back.
Oh my God. I'm going to change the subject because I can't stand this. An hour ago, my crazy new doggo head-butted me right in the nose, and it's not good. I legitimately started fucking crying. And then my dad told me to put ice on it, so I sat with the ice pack on my face for an hour.
Was it a real ice pack or was it a bag of peas?
It was a bag of ice cubes. I think it's okay though. I'm not bleeding, but it made me think of fighting though, because I'm like, really, how do these people get blasted in the nose over and over again? Getting hit in the nose hurts so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Bad. And then your whole face just gets engulfed with you can't breathe right. All of your sinuses get fucked immediately and your eyes get all fucked. I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. Love of money and dumb.
They're not dumb.
You're getting blasted in the fucking face over and over again. You just said it hurts and you don't know how they do it. Dumb and love of money.
They still train for a long ass time to be mixed martial artists and upgrade their belts and do all that stuff. There's skill to it.
For sure.
In other promotions, not UFC, some of them, it's better if you don't get hit, Yeah. They know how to get hit, but nobody wants to watch that in the UFC at all. It's not fun. Boxers. Boxers, the whole thing is, try not to get hit. That's fucking boring.
Right.
But anyway. But other than that, he's doing really good. He hasn't screwed up in the house. I went to work today and he didn't ruin anything. And then this thing happened the other day. It was so cute that I haven't told you about yet. But his only real problem that he does is he knocks stuff off tables. And so the other day I was in the bathroom and I heard a noise that like wasn't one of his toys. And I had, you know how Lisa made us those kaleidoscopes and there was like a bag of marbles that came with it?
Yes.
Okay, so I had the bag of marbles on the side table. So I hear him take the bag. I come out of the bathroom and where the bag was, he left his fucking toy squirrel. Like, maybe if I take her thing and I leave my thing, she won't notice that I fucking took it. So it was really cute. He's very calculated. He's doing good. He's really smart. And we went for a walk and he did good and he sleeps good. And he just kind of goes crazy for like a couple hours and plays and jumps all over the place. But it's nice to have him here. He's a good kid.
I saw your videos of him. I was talking to you the other day about him zooming back and forth all over the house.
I know my dad came over yesterday to give him a toy. And then after my dad left, he was like jacked up. So I let him out back and he did the biggest zoomies ever. He went behind the garage and did the biggest circles you ever saw. I'm like, he's going to get hurt. He's crazy. He doesn't care. He's crazy.
He's a pupper.
He's a pupper. I know.
Got pupper energy.
I think I've settled on a name finally.
Uh-oh.
I think he's going to be named Toad. Because I had a bean, and that's like a small round thing, and then I'll have a toad, which is a small round thing.
Toad.
No, Toad, and then I'll call Toady. No, Toady. I heard he answers to it. So I'm going to say that's officially his name as of today. So he only went a week without a name. It's not bad.
So if his name is Toad, what's all the side names he's going to get?
Toad, Toady, Toady Pants, Toadathin, Toady Monk. There's lots.
Yeah. I feel like one syllable names like that work well for when you want to start creating sub-genre nicknames. Yeah,
like that is like Bean too is 4 letters and then Toad. It's 4 letters. Just like it works.
Yeah.
Good for like a name tag. Good for, this is very me and juvenile, but I also liked that there would be an emoji I could use if I read his name on stuff. I could put the little, I know it's a frog, but it could be a toad. But yeah, so it'll be Toad. He's a Toad. Oh, and he's a Gemini. I figured out, so that's weird because I don't really know any Geminis.
Do you have his actual birthing date?
Yeah, June 8th, 20.
You can run his star chart.
Yeah.
All the astrologers listening out there can start running Toad birth chart.
Toad birth chart. Now I gotta research more. My nose really hurts. I did get popped. I hope I don't have 2 black eyes tomorrow.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
We got our event on Friday.
I have one on Wednesday.
Oh, yeah. You're going to have to get a ride after work.
No shit.
No shit.
But we have to figure when to go to Oakland County Clerk.
I know.
Because I'm on a ticking clock now.
Okay.
Because the wedding license has to be turned in within 10 days of the wedding.
We could maybe go Thursday.
We go Thursday. I can buy food.
Okay.
So I did my wedding. It was very fun. I made the
Not your wedding.
I performed the wedding. I consider any wedding that I perform mine.
Yeah.
Well, usually at the wedding too, I always like this. It happened at this one too. Sometimes I think that they're mine because, like, at this one, when the groom's mother was leaving, she said, "Thank you for marrying my son." And I always have to point out, like, I didn't marry your son. I performed the marriage of your son. But everybody always says something like that. So then I always feel like, well, I did technically, etymologically, I did marry them.
Yeah.
But everything was fine. I made the groom cry, and that was great because he's a big metalhead and he's a big tough guy. But I knew he was a softie, so I wrote it so that I knew that I could get him to cry, and he did.
Nailed it.
And then the most chilling, horrific thing happened to me that has happened in weeks, if not months. I was walking through the kitchen, and I walked upon a plate of bean dip and nacho chips. And I took a nacho off of the plate, and I shoved the bean dip and chip into my mouth. And then I walked into the other room, and I said hello to everybody, and I swallowed really quickly. And a very large, sharp piece of nacho chip got lodged in my throat. and I felt like someone was in my throat, like an elf with a knife was in my throat, stabbing my larynx and my throat and all the tubes that might be connected to my lungs. It was the worst, most horrific thing I've ever experienced in months.
Okay, first I thought you were going to say you accidentally ate like meat, like it had hamburger in it or something. But then when I realized we were talking about, you called me. I talked to you at like midnight that night, like way after the wedding. And you're like, I caught my throat. Like you were like, I have to tell you something. I did this thing and I feel like it's still in there. I'm like, oh my God. Everybody's done that.
It's never happened to me before, and it was terrible.
I've done that before.
And I was like drinking, like I went and drank a bunch of hot coffee because I was thinking I could make the nacho chip like dissolve or disintegrate or something. But every swallow just pushed it slightly further down, and I could feel it cutting the whole way down. And I've watched so many episodes of the show House. And if anybody's ever watched House, it's always where like they don't know why the person's dying, and then it's because like they ate an apple and an apple seed got stuck in their lung and like starts to grow a tree, or like someone got a splinter in their eye and it moved into their heart. And so I was like, this fucking nacho chip is what's going to kill me. I'm going to go out on a nacho chip.
You had genuine concern in your voice when I talked to you. Like you were like, I should rush you somewhere. I'm like, bro, you're going to be fine.
But then I think about what it did was it made me remember the experience of when I was dating the woman and she bit into the pizza and there was a piece of glass in it.
Ew.
And then I called the pizza place, and the pizza place said that earlier in the day they had broken a measuring cup, and they thought they got all the glass picked out of the dough, but they must have not gotten all of it. And I was like, why didn't you throw the fucking dough away? And that was the first thing that I thought in my brain was, this can't be a fucking nacho chip. This is somebody broke a glass in the bean dip, and I swallowed a piece of glass, and now it's cutting my stomach up, and then it's going to cut my intestines up, and then I'm going to lay in bed and bleed out. And that's it. Tenny dies of nacho chip.
First of all, you're a hypochondriac. Second of all, you watch House, but you think Dexter is garbage.
I didn't watch House because I wanted to. I watched House because of my parents.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And besides, House is based on Sherlock Holmes, so I can at least glean some small glee in that the people who wrote House watched Sherlock Holmes.
Oh boy, here we go. Non-modern shows for 500, Alex.
House is a modern show. It's as modern as Dexter is 2006.
No. Oh, you just said you only liked it because of Sherlock Holmes, which was fucking how old?
Sherlock Holmes is from the turn of the century, but I mean, it's been the basis of a ton of great other novelizations and retellings of good stories.
That's why you like it, because it's all old. You like everything old.
The only thing that I got out of Dexter was...
Dexter was based on something that you like.
The only thing that I got out of Dexter was learning where the surprise motherfucker gif came from.
Yeah, right? Exactly. And... whatever.
That's it. That's the one thing I was like, oh, that's where this is from. Okay, at least I got something out of this.
You didn't even enjoy how hot Dexter is?
I do not think that he is attractive at all, and the fact that he's a murderer makes him even less attractive to me.
Oh my God. You act like he's a murderer in his real life. This is like the whole point of the show.
The point of the show is to get lost in it. Do you not believe he's a murderer?
If there was somebody in our small town right now, like raping a different girl every night, and then the cops couldn't find him, and then one night somebody started killing, or somebody killed the rapist, would you be mad or would you be happy? I would be fucking happy. Yeah, we're not going to agree on this one.
No, we're not. I don't agree with killing anyone. I don't. I don't.
Do you like horror movies?
I do like horror movies. They're complete and total fantasies, not based in reality, not supposed to be just...
not always.
Not supposed to be just like, this is what happens in Miami.
Not always. Okay, and also in most horror movies, those people don't deserve it at all. At least the people that Dexter's killing deserve it most of the time.
What do you mean?
Like when you're watching a horror movie and somebody dies, they're usually just like a person. They didn't do anything wrong, and you watch those. But like in Dexter's show, they deserve it, or they did something wrong, and you don't like it.
Are you talking about when Michael Myers kills someone?
Yeah, they're like an innocent person.
Yeah, but I don't love Michael Myers. I don't want to like fuck him and have kids with him. I watch him because he's a mindless like force of nature. And how do you escape from that? That's the interesting part of those horror movies. Not that I love Jason and he's so cool because he kills people who don't deserve it.
But you don't think there's anything like interesting about the fact that like somebody could turn like that and then just like be doing it themselves, and also that they work for the police?
No, I think there's a lot of fucking police who kill people that they think that's one of the problems in our society is that there's a lot of police officers who are like, oh, we should kill this motherfucker because he's doing bad stuff. And that doesn't fucking work out in our society.
Well, I'm not going to talk about that on here. This is getting way too serious.
I'm just saying, like, I look at things in a certain way.
Why don't you tell me about your breakfast time the other day, your breakfast date that you had?
I went out to breakfast with Dean Haglin, who's one of the Lone Gunmen from the X-Files. I had to wake up very early in the morning, which was very not my game, so I was kind of off my game, but we went to breakfast and we were having a very nice chat about classic movies from the turn of the century up until the 1940s. It was a very nice conversation. We both like old stuff. And then a waitress came over to the table and she was like, I don't mean this to sound weird, but I have to ask a question. And I was like, oh shit, she recognized Dean from the X-Files. Here we go. And the waitress goes, but are you John the Ghost guy? And I was like, what? And she's like, are you the guy who was on Ghost Stalkers, John the Ghost guy from, you like live around here? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And she's like, oh, I watched you on TV. I love your show, whatever. And Dean was just kind of like, wah, wah. It was very funny.
I mean, to be fair, I feel like he would get recognized every fucking place in the world if he still had that long hair.
Yes, for sure. And again, as we have often stated, you and I really kind of can't go anywhere without someone, just because all the bars and restaurants we go to, all the friends we have in service industry, like that counts for something. And that's one of those things too, where it's like, oh, I am literally 3 miles away from the city that I've grown up in and live in my whole life.
Yeah.
Someone recognizing me is much more feasible than someone recognizing Dean, who doesn't look like he looked in the X-Files anymore.
And we didn't even know that he lived by us either.
Yeah.
Until very recently. What was I going to say too? And the fact that we like went to shows forever too. I feel like we see show people everywhere and just fucking everything. I don't know. We have to, and we always talk about this too, where we have like different subset. Like some people like hang out with like one kind of person, and I feel like we're friends with like every kind of person you could ever think of. Every age group, every what subgenre, whatever. Like yeah. So we always run into somebody.
No, but that's the balance between you and I. Like the things that I don't know, you know those people. The people you don't know, I usually know those people. And then there's an enormous group where we have a ton of crossover.
True. What else? Oh, you brought up Michael Myers briefly. Did you know, I didn't know this. Somebody brought it up on Twitter. Did you know one of the working titles for Halloween Resurrection was HalloweenMichaelMyers.com?
I did hear that at one time, yes. Yes.
That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Yes, that is bad. That would have been a bad choice.
Halloween:MichaelMyers.com. Holy shit.
That sounds like a very bad idea.
The worst idea. That's like a joke. I wonder if it was around that time, though, where people would say that .com after, like as a joke. Remember?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The way that people did hashtag for a few years.
Yes. They'd be like if you were like, oh, how are you today? They'd be like, oh, chillin.com. Like, that's not funny. Maybe it is funny.
I'm going to start doing it now.
Do we bring it back?
Let's bring it back.
Okay.
Bringingitback.com.
I think I hate it / love it.
Can we call this episode bringingitback.com?
Yeah. We'll call it. So dumb. Well,
Did you see my tweet? Did you see my tweet about how I think the next Halloween movie should be?
I don't think I did.
So I think the next Halloween movie should pick up right where this one left off, which is Halloween night, and everybody's still chasing Michael Myers. And then at like 11:50, they actually kill Michael Myers. And then everybody's celebrating. And then like as it hits midnight, you see in the background that all the televisions are showing the Silver Shamrock commercial. And you start to hear people screaming in the neighborhoods. Because in this movie, all the kids are wearing Silver Shamrock masks. Yeah,
I did see that tweet and I didn't know what that was.
Silver Shamrock is from Halloween 3 Season of the Witch,
Oh.
You've never seen Halloween 3 Season of the Witch?
I have, but for whatever reason, in your tweet, I feel like, I don't know if it was how it was worded or what, I felt like you were talking about a commercial that I didn't know about. I'm like, what is he talking about?
It's the commercial in the movie that they show literally 20 times, and the song that they play from the commercial that they play for probably 30 minutes combined throughout that movie.
Okay, I don't have a good memory, Tenny.
Oh my goodness gracious. Maybe that's why you don't remember how bad Dexter is.
Well, maybe I'll rewatch it.
And then you'll be surprised, motherfucker.
Oh my god. Oh, I noticed too that, because you always get annoyed when people like don't put John E.L. Tenney and they just put like John Tenney on a like upcoming event of yours. It's like, it's not his fucking name. But so yes, every once in a while you said, and you have like a rapport on Twitter with the actor named John Tenney. And I saw the other day a story go by, and the new Sex and the City reboot show, John Tenney is on it. So now you're just gonna get real annoyed you're gonna get tagged by people on accident.
I've already been tagged like a dozen times with people asking me how I got in the new Sex and the City movie.
Wait, can we go? Wait, can you parlay this into us going to it somehow? Can we go to like a premiere party?
I wish I could. Maybe I'll drop John Tenney a line and say, listen, you're causing me a bunch of hassle. Can I get into the premiere?
Oh my God. That's one of our cozy hotel shows. We're either watching Friends or Sex and the City every time.
Yeah.
There's a little secret for everybody.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I might have said this before, but because of the mistaken back and forth with the actor John Tenney, when he was staying in New York, every time he goes to New York to the Bowery Hotel, I get emailed to me his receipts because I stayed at the Bowery Hotel when we were promoting Ghost Stalkers. And so I went to that hotel, I gave them my email, and I think ever since then, whenever he goes there, which has been 2 or 3 times, I end up getting emailed like the receipts for like the room service and like the other stuff he has sent to his room.
Oh my God. It's a good thing he doesn't like order porn and then they're just like, here you go.
I know. If there was something going on, I could be, using that for 8 seconds of stupid fame.
I know.
Is Chris Noth still in it? Did you ever look on IMDb or anything? Is he in there somewhere? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw photos from him filming already, and he has like all gray hair and he looks sweet. I was going to say, does he look good? Yeah, he does. Okay. That's why I was like, why is she walking around with John Tenney? He can tend to look fairly handsome. No, he looked handsome. I was just like, obviously, everybody who watches that show wants her to end up with big, or at least I do. I don't fucking know. Welcome to your Sex and the City podcast. I know, just if nobody has seen Dexter or Sex and the City, this is a real throwaway app, except for the dog punching me in the fucking nose. Who else? You said you were going to sing your Halloween frog song, or you were going to put it to music, and I don't know how you would have a keyboard or a music ready. No, I have made the decision that since it requires keyboards and guitar and bass and some percussion, that I will release it, but I'm not going to do it during a podcast. I can't play all that stuff at once. How did you put it? Listen, put it on our Patreon. I can put it on the Patreon. Yes, Patreon only Halloween frog song. Yeah. But there's no way I'm not a one-man band here. I don't have like the cymbals between my legs and a stomping on a kick drum while I blow a party horn and play stand-up bass. I can play something. I'll come over and play a cymbal or a drum. I have a flute. After I record everything, you can come over and you can go hoo, hoo, hoo on the flute. Well, we were talking about this on the phone the other night, and we were like, what about the frog song? What about the frog song? And then I went, that frog, 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 frog. And then you sang part of the thong song to me. I sang all of the thong song to you because I know all of the lyrics because it was my go-to karaoke song. I know, but then you said some of the lyrics are inappropriate and you can't sing it anymore. That is true. I cannot sing it anymore. And I got so drunk one Sunday night, this is 10 years ago or so, that I went to Mr. B's pub on a Sunday night and did karaoke and bought this whole table, endless drinks for like hours. I had no idea who they were. I was just blasted out of my mind and made new friends. And when I went to work the next day, someone at my work was like, have you seen this video of you doing thong song on Facebook? And I had to contact those people and have them remove it. If someone I can't think of anything worse that somebody could say to me after I was hungover than, have you seen this video of you online doing the thong song? Like, couldn't be worse. Can't think of anything worse. Those are the most scary words I've ever heard. That would make your heart, like, just stop beating.
I wasn't excited about it when I heard that it was there.
Like, I would rather if somebody showed me a video of me getting arrested. Like, that would be easier. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, well, shit happens. But I was thinking, this is going to be our Halloween ep. You have to tell, like, a spooky story. Like, we can't just bitch about shows forever and talk about deadly chip bits in your throat. That's a scary story, but it's not a Halloween story.
You still might kill me. You laugh now.
Well, what if it was like when when they had those 80s movies? What is that movie where somebody swallows the razor blade and they show it?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
What is that from? Is that from like Creepshow or something?
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, the old effects where it would just like part like wax in their throat and it would just go like blah, 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 like shoot out little blood. That can be your costume on Friday. Just make a fake neck and put like half of a tortilla chip sticking out. And only people that listen to the podcast will understand what the fuck it means.
What if I just glue a plain tortilla chip to my throat?
But can you put your frog medallion from Psychomania over the chip?
Yes.
There's just like
I think it would be funny to just have a Tostito glued on my throat.
I almost just spit out my drink. I mean, what's your costume? And you be like in Mean Girls where she points to the ears and she's like, duh. And then people ask you what your costume is and you'd be like, duh. And
point at the Tostito dipper on my throat.
You either know or you don't.
I have a Tostito dipper on my throat. I don't think you see the costume.
HalloweenCostume.com. Get into it.
Chipthroat.com. I don't think you understand.
I hate it. I love it. Okay, but for real, tell a spooky story. What's one you've told in a long time?
Let me think of a spooky story while we talk about something else.
Okay.
I had something to say, and then we started developing this nacho chip costume, and I got lost and sidetracked.
We were talking about getting arrested and having a video of you on the internet.
Oh, I was going to say, that's what it was. I was going to say, has there ever been a video of you on the internet that you were ashamed or embarrassed to have on there?
Let me think.
Like you accidentally posted something and then had to delete it, like in the morning?
No. It was funny though, like 2 days ago, or maybe it was yesterday even, it was the anniversary. Like it came up in I didn't even know you could have Instagram memories, but some weird thing popped up and said it was like the anniversary of me posting that video of you shocking me with the fucking thing at your house. What's that thing called again? Ultra something ray?
The violet ray machine.
Yeah, the violet ray machine. You shock everybody with it. And if you don't know how to use it or don't know how to get shocked by it, it really hurts. So that video I put on my Instagram.
Should I bring the violet ray machine to Stash and shock people?
Is that illegal?
Why not?
I don't know. Can you just shock strangers? What if somebody has a heart attack?
Let's bring it anyway.
Okay. You would be neat to just have out.
Yeah.
And you could shock me. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll bring that.
Okay.
That's what I thought you were going to say when you were like, well, I'll make the frog song. And I thought you were going to say, I'll do it at Stash. And I was like, oh, geez.
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll bring my acoustic guitar and sing it live.
You can.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. Did you think of a spooky story yet? That's your job. It's Halloween. This is your job. What about the story? What's that story where you...
I'm thinking of one I don't tell very often.
I know. This isn't one you tell very often. What's that one where you were like at a girlfriend's house or some shit and there was like steps involved in a front door? What's that story?
So I was... One of the first girls that I dated in high school told me that there was a dark, shadowy figure that was in her house and would stand at the foot of her bed. And it didn't have eyes that glowed, but she could see the wetness of the eyes glinting with the light in the room. So I was the only person that she knew that was interested in anything like that, and I should know how to get rid of it. And there was a weekend where she just lived with her mom, and her mom was on a business trip, so she was alone in the house. So her and 4 of our friends spent the night in the house. And so the first night we were there, because she didn't want to be there by herself, we were watching television, and the television would turn itself off and on all night long while we were there. And then that same night, there was the sound of a door opening from the kitchen. And when you would go in the kitchen, the doorway that led to the basement was open. And you would close it and latch it and then go back in the living room and it would burst open again, to the point where my friend Jim and I closed the door, pushed the kitchen table and all the chairs against it so it couldn't open again. And like 5 minutes later, we were in the living room and there was this explosion of noise. And the door was open and all of the table and chairs were scattered across the kitchen. So we decided not to spend the night at the house that night. And the next morning, I told them I would go in and try and get rid of the ghost or whatever was in the house. I had no idea what I was doing at the time. So we went over there. I went to a church and got holy water, and I went and got candles from my house, and I got a Bible and flash, like everything that I thought that I might need if I encountered something unholy or mean. Then they dropped me off at the house and left me there. And they were like, good luck, and left me there. So I walked through the house and said prayers and lit candles. And I think I smudged a little, and the whole house was empty. And I was all by myself and nothing strange had happened. And so I was like, okay, maybe, this worked, or maybe it was just our imagination, or like I didn't know what was happening. So I went down in the living room and I was getting ready to leave. And I had opened up the front door, but not the screen door. And right when I was about to leave, I heard footsteps upstairs. And they started coming down the stairs from upstairs. The way the stairwell was, you couldn't see it from the living room. There was a wall that blocked the stairwell. And I could hear the steps slowly getting closer and closer to the landing. And so I opened up the screen door, so I was standing half in and half out of the house. And right when you would expect someone to walk down onto the landing, onto the main floor, I saw a hand come around the side of the wall. And then when a person should have stepped down, there was a human-like figure, but it was like looking through water, the way that the light bent around it. And my mind just like snapped. And I screamed at the top of my lungs. I screamed, get out, like so viscerally and so full of fright and fear. And something immediately moved past me, and I was like frozen, locked in place, like half in, half out of the house, holding both the doors open. And I was just frozen with fear as I felt this thing move past me. And then as soon as I was unfrozen, as soon as I could move, I like just burst out the front door, jumped off the porch and started running back to Jim's house. And I got to Jim's house and they were all having a great time. And I told them everything that happened, everything I just said here. And we went back to the house. And when we went back to the house, it was exactly how I had left it. But the house definitely felt completely different. And there was nothing, I don't think anything else happened at that house until the girl and her mom who lived there, they put the house up for sale. And the day after they put the house up for sale, the whole kitchen and downstairs steps caught on fire and burned that whole part of the house.
Dang.
So happy Halloween.
That's so fucking scary.
That was my first real encounter with a ghost or something that was non-human-ish.
And they never figured out, like, they never investigated, like, deaths in the house or, like, knew anyone that they knew that died or like, would have stuck around?
Nope. And then in later years, like, I did paperwork and I could never come up with anyone that had ever died in the house or anything, too.
Have you ever seen anything else that presented like that? Like a weird glistening, whatever that was?
No. I tell people, whenever I talk about it, I tell people, like, if you've ever seen the movie Predator, that's kind of what it looked like when Predator's in camouflage mode. It's like you're looking through liquid, like moving human form liquid. That's kind of what it looked like. But the hand looked human. When I first saw the hand wrap around the edge, I could see the fingers and knuckles. That was human. And then when it stepped down, it became this weird, amorphous blob, liquid human thing. I think it had to do a lot with the girl I was dating and her mom. That family had suffered a lot of trauma. And I really think that they were somehow involved with it. And maybe they had even manifested something in the house.
Yeah. Yeah. Was that around here somewhere?
That was in Royal Oak. Yeah. I could actually take you and show you the house. The first house I ever did any kind of ghosty thing in. It's weird when I drive by it. I still have I've driven by it many times since then. This is over 30 years ago. And every time I drive by it, it's so visceral in my mind, jumping off that front porch and being locked in between. I just could not move between the front doors, just frozen, and feeling this thing move past me was really intense.
I always tell people too, because when they ask us about the scary places we go to, or when stuff happens, how do you react? Or and me and you have talked about this too, and on ghost shows or on YouTube shows and stuff where it seems fake because they're or it's actually when real stuff happens to you, most of the time you can't get a noise out. It's so fucking scary that you can't talk or scream or do anything. You can barely breathe. So for me to hear, and I know you're like that too. So for me to hear that you fucking just screamed, yelled, that must have been the weirdest thing you ever saw to make you even.
Yeah, it was that scream, that get out that I screamed at it was in that moment, my brain had flipped so far. I was I felt just it was an intruder. I had been through the whole house with my candles and my smudging. I had been upstairs. I knew no one was up there. And so when something came down from up there, my brain just melted. And my first reaction was anger that something was in the house, that I had just gone through this whole house. I knew nothing was there.
Yeah.
And then I think literally, I don't think the candles and the prayers, I don't think that did anything.
Did you hear something? Tenny?
Hold on.
I know. This is fine. Just tell a ghost story and he hears something and gets up and leaves. This is a horror movie. What is that noise?
Now I am uneasy.
What was that?
Both, I don't there's a lot of cold, weird weather going on, but for it to happen right now, my front door is chained, but it was open.
Mm-hmm.
And the guard that I have on my back door that I just installed popped out of its latch.
Ew. Ew. Nope.
Both at the same time. I heard a sound. It's got to be recorded.
That's fucked. Especially when we're talking about something leaving a house.
Yes, it's got to be recorded. Can I stop this and then restart it and then we can start again? I want to hear if it's on the tape.
Okay.
Okay.
You have to leave all this in here.
Yes, I will. It's fine. But I have to listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that was terrifying.
Yes, and you can hear it.
You can?
Yes.
What the fuck?
So I just went and reset my door latch on the back, and then I took the chain off my front door and looked, and my screen door was open.
What?
My screen door blew open one way, and then the door to inside the house blew open the other way.
I just got the willies.
That's fucked.
That's exactly how it happened in your fucking story.
Yes.
Screen door open, other door open, you in the middle.
Yes. And I'm talking about how I don't think that the candles and prayers did anything. I think it was my intention and making it happen.
And then your doors exploded.
Yes.
You heard the noise and then you went away. I'm like, oh my God, this is fucking horror movie. You can't just leave.
It sounded like someone was coming in my house.
The worst, and we talked about this before too, you being on Ghost Stalkers, even though it's not like I was watching it live, but the worst feeling ever is seeing one of your friends be scared or knowing that they're scared and you're not fucking there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Worst.
Fucking happy Halloween.
I know you said we need a Halloween episode, but jeez.
Bringing it full effect.
I know, I want that water person to be in your house.
Making up for all the Dexter talk.
I know, now you're haunted. Gee whiz.
I'm writing it off to weather.
It's not that windy out. I'm looking right out the window.
Just saying, I have to be in this house by myself.
Well, okay. Everything's gonna be fine. You just need to light some shit when you're done on here.
Ceiling's already leaking. Crawl space is already flooding. House is in a state of transition.
Eek. Well, if you need me to come over...
It would have been even more not that that's not fucked up as it is, but it would have been even more fucked up if the door to my stairwell would have fucking blown open.
I know. It's right there. I'm glad... I mean, I'm not glad that it happened to you, but I'm kind of glad that you said it's on the... You can hear it.
Yeah.
Ah, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah, now I don't know what to do now.
I know, I'm kind of scared now, and it didn't even happen in my house.
Gotta light some candles and incense and shit.
I'm gonna do that too.
Fortify this force field.
No. I'm gonna probably watch a horror movie and do crunches, and now I'm gonna be scared already. Well,
Now I'm just listening to my house. I'm too old for this shit.
Well,
Getting too old for this shit.
you're the ghost guy.
I know. Even the waitress knows at the restaurant.
I know. Shit happens.
It's so funny because, Ghost Guy is what, like I told Patrick Tierney, like when someone asks what I do, I told Patrick, the bartender at Gus's, to just say he's the Ghost Guy. Because explaining what I would really do is sometimes too difficult for people, where they're like, oh, he lectures on UFOs and ghosts and works on television shows and does research on paranormal. Like, that's already too much for people at the bar.
Well, literally for the longest time, too, every single time we went there, your show was on the fucking TV, so you didn't have to explain it to anybody. You would just be like, oh, I'm right there.
Yeah, but that was a deal I made with Gus's because I didn't have the channel at the time. I couldn't watch my own show at home. I had to go to Gus's to watch my own show.
But it was in reruns for a long time.
Yeah.
It still is, isn't it?
Yeah, you can buy it on Amazon. I think I bought it on Amazon.
Nice.
How fucked up is it that I have to buy my own show?
I know.
Couldn't they have sent me a fucking DVD or something?
They should. I'm sure they could have if you would have contacted somebody, but...
There was like 2 fucking times that I almost died on that show. How about sending me a goddamn burned CDR?
Oh, you're just writing, Dear... What was it on? Discovery? TLC?
Well, it's Discovery now, but it was Destination America.
Yeah. Dear Destination America. Not to put you out anything, but if you have any old CDRs in a drawer, can you burn me my fucking series that I participated in and send it to my P.O. box? Sincerely, John the Ghost Guy.
And they'd be like, who?
Who?
Huh?
I want to buy it now.
The reality behind the people always ask, like, I see Chad will contact me every now and then because people will say, like, you guys should still do another season. And I always tell Chad, it floors me that people think that the people on television shows pick and choose, like, if it gets to stay on or not.
Yeah, like you wouldn't have done another season. Like, I think we're done.
Like the people on, like we would film for the show for a week for an episode, and then I literally wouldn't see the actual finished episode until like 2 days before it aired. Mm-hmm. Like I was the last person to get to see it.
Yeah.
Also, I think the company that made our show, I think the biggest problem with Ghost Stalkers, I think the company that made our show ripped off a bunch of money from Destination America.
Really?
Yeah, because I eventually found out like how much they were paying to like production cost per episode. And then like I weighed that against how much Chad and I made per episode. And then I was like, where the fuck was all that other money going? And I think that they really soaked Destination America for a bunch of cash. And I think that's probably why we didn't get. Because paranormal shows are supposed to be cheap. That's the reason they make them.
Well, especially the first season, and then maybe you get a bigger budget for the following seasons.
Yeah.
You can't just go ham in the first one. And you shouldn't have had that many expenses anyway. You had a fucking camper and a camera.
Yeah, and we were the cameramen.
I know. Well,
and we got paid nothing.
I like how you're talking about all this. Are you allowed to be talking about this?
Who the fuck cares at this point?
They didn't even give you a CDR.
They didn't even give me a fucking CDR. You go to fucking Dollar General and buy 100 pack of CDRs right now for like $3.
I didn't even know they still sold them.
They probably don't.
They probably don't. Nobody has a disk drive on their computer anymore.
I have a disk drive on my computer. I can still burn DVDs and stuff. And if you want, I can burn you some CDs to listen to.
I don't have a CD player.
I was about to say, do people even listen to CDs anymore?
No, I have probably, from working at the record store, I have probably 1,500 CDs in the attic right now, and I have nothing to play them on, and they're just sitting there dying.
I bet you that we're back to the point where more people, just for the nostalgia, more people buy vinyl than they do CDs.
Mm-hmm, for sure. I wish if all of my CDs upstairs were vinyl, I would be so fucking happy. I really did the wrong thing there. But they're all like indie rock. I don't know. I feel like most of the shit that I have, like, it didn't all come out on vinyl. Vinyl just had a resurgence. I don't think it did then.
What I think is funny is that Eric, the door guy from Gus's, asked me if I had a way to transfer cassettes to digital, and I said, yeah.
There is a way, isn't there?
Yeah, I have a little machine you can plug into your cassette recorder, and it plugs in USB to your computer, so you can transfer digital stuff. But Eric was like, yeah, I got like 500 cassette tapes that I want to make digital, and I was like, Eric, like the majority of that stuff is, first of all, it's already available digitally.
Yeah, does he have Spotify?
Yeah, and then secondly, when you take cassette tapes and transfer them digitally, first of all, you have to do it in real time. So you have to listen to the tape while it doesn't do it like in fast forward. Mm-hmm. So 500 tapes, let's say 40 minutes per side. And I don't think that he has anything that's probably on cassette that's not already digital.
No, maybe if there was like a local punk band, like one-off tape, you could just like do that one, but not like fucking Metallica Black Album.
Right, exactly. That's what I mean. I think that most of it, I got a lot of Iron Maiden cassettes I need to transfer over.
He's funny.
He does have the one thing I did for him that was really cool a couple of years ago was he gave me 3 cassette tapes that he had actually gotten from his father. When his father was in Vietnam, his father recorded the Vietnam Army radio station on cassette.
Oh, wow.
So, like, it's all Jimi Hendrix and Moody Blues, but then all of a sudden there's, like, the Army DJ talking about what's going on in Vietnam.
That's sparking something. That's awesome, first of all. But second of all, somebody asked me, your Jack Boland clip that you posted the other day, do you have more of his recordings, and do you have it online anywhere?
Oh, so... Yeah, that actually is exactly, I was transferring Jack Boland CD or cassettes onto digital. And so I'm in the process of doing that now because I have hours and hours of his cassettes and speakers from that church. And so I'm transferring them all digitally, and then I'll just upload them to YouTube when I'm done.
Yeah, I want to hear all of it. Perfect.
That clip that I posted on Twitter about him finding the greatness within yourself, that's actually from the cassette recording of the service where we had his funeral while he was alive.
Oh, yeah.
That's that recording. Because then after he does his little sermon, the rest of the tape is people like getting up and saying nice things about him, and him kind of sitting there knowing and talking about the fact that it's so crazy to hear him talking about dying. Like, he knows that he's going to be dead soon, and that's fine, and that's just part of it. And like, it's just amazing to listen to the kind of calm in his voice.
Yeah, that's wild. I like that clip a lot.
It's very simple.
It is.
Everybody wants to be great. You already are. You just don't know it, and people tell you otherwise.
Yeah. Except you. You're stupid.
Yeah, you're dummy too.
I think
you and your dumb dog.
He's great. You can call me dumb. You can't call him dumb.
You have anything else? I know I said I was going to do burbs, but I'm not going to do burbs because I ran out of time.
Yeah, we don't have time. Everybody come to our event on Friday. If you didn't buy a ticket yet, there's some left, but not many. Tickets on our social medias. So
social media, that's where the link's at. Or if you want to come to my cheapo event at Weirdsville Records, you can do that on Wednesday.
Well, this probably won't drop. Who knows when you'll get this up?
I'll probably be doing my lecture when this drops.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
Well, if you get it up early Wednesday, people can still have a chance to go.
Are you telling me to get it up early?
I really don't want to ever say that again. I'm devastated. Okay, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, you get out of here. Okay, bye.